All right, let's move on to baritones. When we're talking about baritones, we're going to talk about tubas too. It's all the big stuff, 3-valve or 4-valve with the tuba in some cases. So same as always, let's get our stuff out. You're just working in a much bigger situation with having everything out. So you're going to brush everything out as we always have through this series of videos. We would brush everything out. Okay? And let's go ahead. We've got space over there. We're going to go ahead and spray the inside down. Go ahead and take care of that handle on the outside, all that kind of good stuff. And we'll let it set aside to dry, like we've been doing. But I'll put it down here on the ground, out of the way. Okay. So, this one particular baritone did not have a mouthpiece, but if you've been watching the series, you know what to do with the mouthpiece. Put it in the soapy water and scrub it. So this particular specimen did not. So pull what slides you can. If there's any that are stuck, note them on your repair sheet. Get your bottom caps and slides. Go ahead and get everything off. Okay, and we still got to do our little test. I know I'm getting towards the end of all of them, making a lot of videos, and I'm not really staying in an order on this one here. But yeah, we got a silver baritone, so I'm going to do a little test spot back in here behind the valves. There's not much lacquer left on this one anyway. I'm just going to make sure we don't have a bad reaction with the silver and what lacquer's left on it. Okay, so we have it all stripped down. Let me get those bottom caps off. Okay, so we're going to be using the trombone snake on the baritone to be able to get through some of these lengths as far as we can. So coming up and through and around as far as we can for some of these snakes. Okay, so again, I'm going to set this aside, bring my water up, and I'm just going to try to get as many of these places as I can, getting it down in the water. Use my cup, fill up the bell, and like I said, if you have a bigger tub, this stuff's going to be easier, and I showed you that bigger tub earlier on. So I'm going to put a little water down in there, so I get a little bit going down there, and soapy water and everything down in there. All right, so my trombone snake, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try get this snake going up. And it's go up and around. I'm going to go as far as I can with it. And those couple of cups of water that I put in there, they're down in here, and I'm able to use that water right now. I'm kind of laying it flat, let that water swish down into here. And I can feel that the water's up here by my hand because the brass is getting really cool to the touch, because that water's up in there. So I know where that water zip is by the temperature of the brass. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, kind of slosh it around a little bit. Now I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to go down in here. And I'm just going to kind of agitate down and around in there, just kind of knocking off whatever I can down here in the bottom bin. Alright. So let's see what we got. Not bad. Not bad. Okay, so now the next thing we got to do is we just got to address some of these. Now, this is where your mouthpiece brush gets handy again on some of these shorter tubes up into the valves here. Even the valve chasing brush. Just make sure that it's not too big and you don't get stuck. And don't go in so far where you scratch the inside of the valves. Okay, so here's this guy here. You can see the brush is long enough to go the full length here. Otherwise, use your snake. Okay. All right. Now the last thing is go ahead and attend to our valves with the valve brush. Okay, so we've kind of gotten all the different areas that we can brush. Our springs are here on the table. From taking the bottom caps out, I need to throw those in the water. I overlooked those when I took the caps off, so they're in the water. So now we just need to get some rinse water going through here to rinse out what we've done. Let me address this lead pipe. French horn, looks like the French horn snake will work good in this lead pipe for the size of tubing it is. So when you get to your baritones and your tubas, this is where you're going to be using the combination of your snakes, your French horn, your trombone, and all your different mouthpiece brushes. So you're going to use you're going to use quite a combo when it comes to these guys. Okay, so rinsing the valves out, the water through that lead pipe that I just scrubbed, and now I'll carefully flip it over and I'll get some water down through all these other, rinse water down through all these others that I've done. Okay. And now I'm just going to rotate and make sure, now I'm going to come down to the bell. Make sure I rotate any water that's accumulated in this main tube. I can feel it. There it is. And I'll do one more for good measure. All right, so we're all good there. So I'll set that aside and we'll start drying it off. Get this out of our way. Alright, let's get dry. Polish it off, dry it off. Got my microfiber. Again, same processes we've been doing through this entire video series. You have your instructions to be able to follow in print. All right, so I'll set that aside. That's dry. All right, let's get our snakes out of our way here. Okay, so let's get to our mouthpieces and stuff like that. So again, I'm going to bounce between the valve chasing brush, the mouthpiece brush, and then I think I'm going to go with my French horn brush. Little shake. And I'm going to go ahead and bring this over here. We've got a lot of these guys. Our soap agitation here. Make sure you get down into that crook. Okay, this short guy, I'm going to use the mouthpiece brush. Mouthpiece brush and these short guys. Getting them good. Okay. Alright, we got our main one here. I'll use the French horn. It'll go all the way around. Open your water keys up. Get your water key with the toothbrush. This water key toothbrush. Alright. Springs. I'm going to take the valve chasing brush and just do the springs like that with the valve chasing brush. Uh-oh. Get them. Alright. Toothbrush, like we did with the trumpet valves, we're going to get underneath the caps, underneath the buttons, we're going to get all that. And then we're going to take the mouthpiece brush and do all the ports. Okay, and as I said, all this goes for the tuba too. Last few ports. Like I said earlier, if there's bad buildup, let it soak to loosen up. And again, change your water out if it starts to get too filthy. Go ahead and get you some fresh water for the new instrument that your batch that you're going to do. Okay, so now we're all in our rinse water. Let's go ahead and lay ourselves out here. Alright, done with the rinse water. Alright, let's start drying them off. Again, as you're drying is when you can sit and look at what might be wrong, like you might need to replace a spit valve cork, water key cork. You might need a new felt here on the valve. It might be something. So this is the time you're kind of looking at things that you need to note on your repair sheet. Same when we're cleaning the body of the instrument. You know, you're keeping cognizant of what's going on and what you need to have worked on. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and let's look at getting the valves in the correct order. Okay. 2, 3. Okay. All right. So here we go. All right, go ahead and start with getting the bottom caps on. This seemed to have happened with the trumpet. The caps didn't want to cooperate. There we go. Okay, so I got my valves in order here already. I'll drop my springs in. Ouch. Poked me. All right, so we got them. 1, 2, and 3 with the springs. All right, let's get our oil. Just always make sure you got your valves in correctly. I took the time to find the numbers on top, make sure everything's back where it needs to be. Now we're talking about getting everything back together. Okay, so lots to do with this guy, lots of slides. So we're going to go ahead and start getting our grease in the female ports. Where are we at? There we are. Okay. All right, go ahead and get these one at a time, worked in. Okay, and then we got straight there. Okay, there we are. And here we got. Okay, got that one smeared around, that one smeared around. Everything working smooth. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and flip. Alright, so we got all of our female ports in. Okay, so now let me go ahead and get things moved around. And there we are. Okay. It's nice and free. All right. Final wipe down. So we've applied our slide grease. We've gone all the way through our checklist. Again, tuba, baritone, whether it be a bell front, bell up, whatever the bell configuration is for a baritone or a tuba. Sousaphone also, all the same valve section and everything. You'll just want to clean that valve section real good. Okay, so there's the baritone. Let's go ahead and get it put back in its case and check the case. Make sure we're all good there. And we are dry. Been averaging pretty good time on the cases being dry. Okay, and then let's give the outside its wipe off. We sprayed, handle, all that kind of good stuff. So there's tuba and baritone interchangeable on the techniques.